You hear the word democracy thrown around constantly, right? It's this huge, powerful idea that pretty much shapes our entire world. But what does it really mean for you, for me, for our day-to-day lives? Well, that's what we're going to figure out.
Because that's the big promise, isn't it? Rule by the people. It sounds great, but what does it actually look like in practice? We're going to break down that promise, see how the system is supposed to work, and figure out the part each of us plays in making it all real. All right, so let's get right to it. This whole idea of rule by the people, where in the world did it come from?
Believe it or not, this idea goes way, way back to ancient Greece. The word itself is actually a mashup of two Greek words, demos, which means the people, and kratos, which means power or rule. So, at its absolute core, democracy literally means rule by the people. Super simple idea, right? But it's an idea that has been shaking things up for centuries.
So, how exactly do the people rule? Well, there are two main ways this can go. First, you've got direct democracy. Just picture a small town where every single citizen gets to vote on every single issue. It's awesome for small groups, but yeah, try doing that with millions of people. It's just not going to work. That's why today, most countries use a representative democracy. This is where we, the citizens, elect people, officials, to make those big decisions for us. We're basically handing over our power to people we trust to look out for our best interests.
Okay, so democracy is way more than just voting. At its heart, it's actually a set of guarantees for you. It's a promise to every single citizen that certain rights are protected.
And maybe the biggest, most important promise of all is something called the rule of law. Now, this is the bedrock of a free society. It means the law applies to everyone equally. It doesn't matter who you are, a regular citizen, a police officer, or even the president. Nobody gets a free pass. This principle is what keeps things fair.
And built right on top of that foundation, you have your fundamental freedoms. Things like being able to speak your mind without being afraid, or getting together with people who think like you do. And the guarantee that the law will protect you just like it protects everyone else. You know, these aren't just words on paper. They're the tools you need to live your life and have a say in your community.
Okay, so we've got the big idea, we've got the rights, but how does all that power actually get channeled through the government? What does the system actually look like?
Well, most democracies split the power up into three branches so that no single group can get too powerful. First, you've got the legislature. These are your elected representatives, and their job is to make the laws. Then there's the executive, think the president and their team, who actually put those laws into practice. And finally, you have the judiciary, the courts and judges, who interpret the laws. It's a brilliant setup, really. It creates what we call checks and balances, where each branch keeps the others in line. And then, of course, you have the main event, the election. But for an election to be the real deal, it needs a few key things. It has to be competitive, so you have a real choice. It has to happen periodically, so leaders can be held accountable. It needs to be inclusive, so every adult gets a say. Your vote has to be secret, so you can vote your conscience. And maybe the most important test of all, a peaceful transfer of power after the votes are counted.
But here's the thing. Your power doesn't just show up and disappear on election day. Not even close. A healthy, thriving democracy needs its citizens to be engaged all the time, in all sorts of ways.
Just think about all the ways you can make your voice heard. You can get involved directly by contacting the people who represent you. You can team up with others by joining groups that fight for the causes you care about. And you can help shape what everyone is talking about through peaceful protest, public debate, or by using a free press.
Every single one of these actions is a powerful way to use your democratic voice.
And these groups, we often call them NGOs or civil society organizations, they play a huge role. They're kind of like the public's watchdog. This quote says it perfectly. They challenge what the government is doing, they educate all of us on important issues, and they make sure that the things that matter to the community don't get ignored.
And all of this brings us to what might be the most important point of all. Democracy isn't some machine that just runs by itself in a government building somewhere. It's a practice. It's a culture. It's something we all have to do every single day.
See, it's a two-way street. With all those amazing rights comes some pretty big responsibilities. Democracy is not a spectator sport. It needs us to stay informed, to hold our leaders accountable, and, this one's so important, to actually listen to and tolerate people who have different opinions. It's about respecting the process and each other, even when we completely disagree. That's what keeps the whole thing going. So, we end up right back where we started. Democracy is ruled by the people. It's a system designed to give you rights, a voice, and a real share of the power. So the only question left is the one that matters most. What are you going to do with it?